Well, I am an admirer of Elisa's. Elisa has even worked for me, and the fact is that she is talented.
What's it called? Kermit and Friends?
Kermit and Friends.
Kermit. But
if Kermit,
you're saying
like
not to
frog?
do.
Yeah,
Wait.
I actually have watched a few hours of the Kermit and Friends.
How many hours have you watched, Natalie?
Oh, no. Probably indulged in 8 hours.
Holy.
My wife and I watched Benji's ex-girlfriends or whatever's going on. We watched this crazy podcast, and I have to say, this is one of the, probably in the top 5 things I think about right now.
She has a podcast, but she gets to come on the radio. It is craziness upon craziness.
Everybody, welcome to Kermit and Friends. I'm Elisa. This is Fozzie, and Kermit is watching from heaven. We have a huge show today. Onision is here. I am so excited. What a week it has been. I just loved last week's show. I've been torturing myself just thinking, how can I make every week better and better? Well, according to Kabbalah University, Satan says, I love and respect myself only if I accomplish things. But God loves and respects me for who I am, not my accomplishments. It doesn't matter whether I have a good episode of Kermit and Friends or not. It doesn't matter if I'm in the tabloids or on the radio. Who I am is not what I do. Who I am is inside. So while I was promoting Onision being on the show today, I got a lot of weirdos responding with hatred pointing in my direction. And I'm just warning you people, don't tell me who to hate. It's not going to work on me. I'm a huge Onision fan. I love his work. I love his videos. I showed his videos to my nephews. I love his creativity. I love that he never gives up no matter what anyone says. I like that he's here today, obviously. The beauty of Onision is he doesn't need anybody else. Everything comes from within him. And I want to show everybody that could happen with you too. He's got a lot of spirit. He's actually one of the more pure people, that I've seen online on YouTube express themselves online. So I'm Team Onision. I'm sorry. Plus, he reminds me a little bit of Christian Grey. And everybody knows I love Christian Grey. I noticed there's a lot of, haters and people who are discouragers. And I noticed something about those people that are discouraging. They're never up to anything interesting. So I actually learned from people like that. Don't be a discourager. Be someone who has discouragers, because that means that you're on to something. So I'm going to borrow a quote from Onision. If you want to be happy, you focus on happy people and let everyone else live in their own world. You cannot change people or what they think. You can only live and do what's best for you, okay? Do what's best for you. That's it. Don't focus on anybody negative. Like right now, Andy, my fiance, is on my roof right now. I choose not to focus on that. He's on top of my roof currently, Andy Dick. I am not sure why he's up there, but I don't know if he's upset, but he is on my roof, and that is true. And I don't know what to do about that. Sugar, my co-host, and he's on my roof. Obviously, I'm not happy about that. You know, he's been very excited about Onision coming on the show. But it's upsetting that he's on my
on the roof.
And I had to climb up all these stairs to go find him. My doorman called me. Thank God I have a doorman, by the way. That's like the best thing I've ever done for myself is get this doorman. And I was actually thinking, Onision constantly has people showing up at his house. I don't know if you knew that, but I saw.
Oh, I'm well aware. I saw the documentary.
Yeah.
This is a safe space. We don't judge. I want to hear from Onision, but I know who this guy is and what he's done. But I'm concerned. Is Andy going to jump?
I don't think he's going to jump.
I don't think he will.
I can't control this guy. I
No,
need a
you
husband. I need a husband that I can control. He's out of control. We were talking about the banana song all night last night.
And he has a cute girlfriend named Callie.
He has multiple girlfriends. Yeah, I'm not the only one. But we can't focus on Andy right now. I'm going to follow Onision's lead in what he said to do. He said, do not focus on any negativity. I agree with this guy because there's so much negativity coming towards us at all times from our fiance, from haters online. It's so annoying. So do not focus on that. This guy Onision, he doesn't focus on that. He just focuses on positivity. He's an amazing guy.
Let's do the Onision thing. Let's get Andy down here. We'll shave his head. We'll put him in the videos, and then maybe we'll make him another sex.
That's actually a really good idea. I want Andy. I don't know. I actually don't like Andy's hair right now. Oh, he's calling. Shoot. Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Oh, hey, babe. It's me, your co-host.
Yeah, Andy, I'm really upset right now. I paid for your Uber to get here so you'd be on the show with Onision. Where are you?
You know where I am. I'm on the roof.
Okay, Andy, you have to log on to the show. I gave you the link to log on. You just click on that link, and then you could talk to Onision. He's here right now.
No, send me the link.
I did.
No, you didn't.
On this phone, I texted it to you. Just click on it. Oh, my God.
I swear to God, you did.
Just look at your text.
I'm looking right at.
Okay, do you want me to send it to your Instagram DMs?
No, send it to my phone.
I did, Andy. I did. I don't think you have a good phone. I really don't. Oh, my God, Andy.
None of that.
Okay, I'm going to send it to your Instagram DMs. Do you receive those?
Yes. No, don't do that. No.
So where should I send it?
I got your other text. I just didn't get whatever, the link is.
All right. Okay. All right. See, this is where I need to remain calm. Andy, I love you. You're my fiance. You're one of the co-hosts here. You're amazing. But I texted you the link at least 20 times.
I don't have it.
Okay. Producers, if you're watching, if any of my producers are watching, can you please help Andy?
I'm not.
What, Andy?
I'm not lying to you.
Okay. I'm going to send it to you on Instagram, and I'm going to tweet it to you.
Please not on.
Oh, my God. I don't know. Okay, Andy, I got to call you back. Oh, my God. See, it's very difficult to have a fiance. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, I really thought I had everything together, but I don't. I don't have it together with Andy. I'm totally out of control. So let's just ignore that for right now. If you produce this show, if you're one of my many producers, can you please help Andy? I don't know how you're going to do that. I don't know how anybody's going to help him. It's very confusing on how to help Andy and how to be engaged to Andy. Let me just introduce my first guest, the most wonderful guest I've ever booked here. His name is Onision. He's a comedian. He's an activist. He's a musician. And he's a YouTube star who's best known for his video, I'm a Banana. His channel has accumulated over 365 million views. He's appeared on multiple television networks. He's appeared on MTV, Comedy Central, ABC, Animal Planet, and Fox News. Everybody's talking about this guy. He's amazing. I'm actually really inspired by him. He's incredible. Everybody give a warm welcome to Onision.
Hi. Oh, geez. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Beautiful. Welcome
Okay.
to Kermit and Friends.
Hi.
Hi, I'm a big fan. I was so excited that you agreed to appear on the show today. And I just have so many questions for you. How are you? You said goodbye 2 months ago. Is that right?
Yeah, during one of my more dramatic moods.
Yeah. So what inspired you to say goodbye to all of your fans?
When you've been working for something for 12 years and that just gets torn away from you, you want to take a break at the very least. So that's why I did that.
Yeah. So you were working on your YouTube channel for 12 years. Okay. So you started a long time ago. You were working really hard. You have so many amazing videos, and then it was taken. Why was it taken from you?
Gosh, I like I like the question, and I also really want to answer everything like as fairly as possible. I think a very good summarization of why a lot of people are losing content these days is just cancel culture. So
Yeah.
like right now, people have shareholders in the stock market, and they have a risk of being canceled themselves. So when one person gets canceled, they start to attack everything that that person is associated with. Apparently, David Dobrik was recently canceled, and he started losing sponsorships. And that's because, wow, that's interesting. He started losing sponsorships, and it's still there. He started losing sponsorships, and that's because the company doesn't want to go down with them. So like a company, they see that people are boycotting a person, and then they sponsor that person. And then they say, well, we don't also want to lose business. We don't also want to lose, however many shareholders this would cost, or whatever our net worth is. And so they basically take the easy route, and they get rid of someone just like that, like they never existed. And that is business smart, but it's morally disagreeable.
Hey, Andy.
Anyway, yeah, but no, to be more specific, there's a documentary on Discovery Plus, and that called for me to be removed from the internet basically entirely. It's a very interesting situation.
Andy, do you have a question for Onision?
Oh, I have a statement. It's a very horrible situation for you to be in, and you're gonna do fine, buddy.
I must say, I fear for you both, because you're not taking the position of the anti-Onision, and anybody who does that is the next target of that community. So it's kind of horrifying to see anybody not speak ill of me, because I worry for them.
And you think I care? I'm sticking up for you, dude.
Well, you sir have your own extensive celebrity experience, so
tell me all about it.
You understand a lot of how things work in the biz. So
well, the thing is, Onision, is anybody like not at risk of being canceled right now? You can't do anything without being canceled. It's just ridiculous. And in your situation, I did watch your documentary, and I was pissed off because, everybody who's famous has people that are groupies that want to sleep with them, right? So these, what I call groupies, I don't know what you call them, they are coming after you. They want you. You have fans that want you. And they come after you, and you ignored them. You actually ignored them. And then they kept coming. And then that's what pissed me off. And now you're at fault. Like, I do not understand that. That actually pisses me off. And so that's why, I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to be canceled. Andy, I think he's canceled already. Who is not in danger of being canceled at this point?
That was what was interesting, is people were telling me not to go on the stream because they're like, do you know about Andy Dick? And and they're like, you can't work with this guy. You can't talk to this guy. And I'm like, guys, you hold serial killers and people who upset people at the same level. Like you don't have any gauge for morality or anything like that. It's all the same to people. If you just upset them, you will get canceled. And it's like when you cancel somebody for like literally being a law-abiding citizen and doing things by the book or whatever. When you cancel someone for that, and you also, ignore countless people who aren't famous but do horrible things on a regular basis, it really shows what your priority is. And your priority is just hurting people because they're relevant,
Right.
and not because of their morality or because of what they like right and wrong or anything like that. It's all about who can I talk about that's going to bring more attention to me and make me look like a better person by association or disassociation.
But Onision, just answer this question. Show me a guy that would decline an offer from like a hot fan to meet up. Just show me that guy. If you show me somebody that would say no to that, then that's something. But I can't imagine that.
I feel like there's a significant misunderstanding as to what you think I've gone through.
Can you explain to me? Sorry.
There's no groupies. There's no hot fan situation. There's none of that.
What was it then?
Yeah. So I dated a Canadian pop star like 10 years ago. And I say pop star kind of loosely because she was never like huge, but she was like big enough to get like over 1 million views on one of her music videos. And she dove into my life. Like she contacted me. They showed it in the documentary. It was like early December 2010. And I responded to her with something inspirational, like, hang in there. Life is worth living or whatever. Cause she was talking about how she was really upset and, on the edge of suicide and stuff like that. And I wanted to help her or whatever. And just be, that person that I represented in my videos, somebody who cares about suicide awareness, etc. It's such a long story, but I actually, and this is full disclosure, I straight up left my spouse for this person.
Wow. And that spouse was Sky, right? She was your high school sweetheart?
Not exactly. See, the thing that so I broke up with Sky because I once said, I can never make you happy. Like no matter what I do, I can never make you happy. And that was when we were 18 and 19. Or maybe we were 19 and 19. I don't know. But then I joined the Air Force. And when I was there, Sky was writing me letters. And I saw that in the Air Force, there are benefits to where if you're drunken peasants, nice. No, but if you get married, there's so many benefits to being married. And I thought, well, this person was my best friend. And I was like, how great would it be to have my best friend go with me wherever I wanted? And we have these benefits and I take care of her and yada, yada, yada. So I wound up marrying my best friend. And then Shiloh comes along and I fell pretty madly in love with Shiloh. So I had threatened divorce 6 months prior to that because she said that because we were married, half of my stuff was hers. And I said, but that wasn't the agreement when we got married because I asked for a prenuptial agreement. And so I said, well, if that's how you feel, if you really are in this marriage for half my things, then let's get divorced now. And she said, okay, never mind. If we get divorced, then I won't try to take your stuff. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Then we'll just stay together. And so then Shiloh came along and I fell for Shiloh. And then I realized, this is what a real relationship is supposed to be like. And then I, went on to the Shiloh thing. But this is like, I could talk for probably 10 hours about this in depth because it's such a thorough and rich story. Mm-hmm. But no, I broke up with Shiloh like 7, 8, or 9 things. Andy, I can't hear you. Is he intentionally muted?
Andy, what did you say, sweetheart?
It's me. You could talk for years about what it's like to be going out with a girl.
Right. A little
Andy,
sexist there.
Andy, is that pointed in my direction?
No, you're the best one I ever went out with.
Aw,
Nice.
that's so nice to hear.
Amy.
Oh, what a sweetheart. I love Andy. Actually, Andy's the first person that ever proposed to me. Onision, no one has. And I found in dating, before that men just didn't want to get married. And you are not like that. You like commitment, Onision?
I've proposed to 4 people in my life. So I'd say I'm pretty into that commitment thing.
Did anybody say yes?
Sorry, what?
Anybody say yes?
4 of 4, yeah.
Wow.
All of them said yes.
Then why are you married to them?
I've been married 9 years.
To all 4 of them? I don't understand.
No.
Are you honest?
No. There was this woman named Adrian. She lived in Texas, and I proposed to her, and I had only known her for like 2 weeks. It was ridiculous.
This
But
kid, he's such
she
a nice kid. He really
He's
is.
not. I told you, Andy. I've been talking about Onision to Andy all week, and he forgets, right, Andy?
And I don't fucking forget. I was weirded out. She didn't tell me about what happened with you, and we're not going to talk about that. But and then when
I talk about everything pretty much. So if you guys can talk about whatever you want.
I love this kid.
I know. I knew you would. I knew you would.
I love him.
I know. He's so amazing. And wait until you see his other videos. He has so many amazing videos. He's so talented, Andy. I want you to like collaborate with him and get to know him better.
Andy in my book, and I have this attitude. I had this attitude regardless of like if he go. I was making jokes like, what if Andy's just like, you're a POS and just screaming full force at me? I was like, I'd still be a huge fan. Andy Dick is like top 5, maybe higher comedians, and he is a comedian because he works in the field of making people laugh. So I saw just a clip the other day of you saying you're not a comedian, and you're not a stand-up comedian for sure because you don't do stand-up, but you're a comedian because that's you've made millions of people laugh without a doubt. So that's a comedian, obviously. But no, seriously, one of my favorite ever, just because you take that social norm and you just throw it into a wood chipper and you do whatever you want. And I don't think I've seen anybody, I guess, other than Sacha Baron Cohen, or how you pronounce his name. Other than him, I haven't seen anyone with so few limits. Even like I've seen some comedians pretend they don't have limits, but then like they censor themselves over time, and then they aren't the same comedian anymore. But it seems like Andy's right on the same path, which is amazing.
Thank you. You're so great. Listen, that's so sweet.
Isn't he sweet, Andy?
He really is. What's the
what?
Problem?
What's the problem with what?
There's no problem, Andy. Don't worry. Just forget about the other stuff. I think he's seeing some of the comments and everything, but I just want to focus on.
Are there comments?
Yeah.
We can talk about the problem. Oh, this is great.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted to take fan questions or not, but we have a few fans here that would love to talk to you.
Right. Just to give you guys a crash course on the internet. So right now there's an algorithm which promotes whatever narrative you want to believe. And so let's say you're a conspiracy theorist nut. If you want to believe that aliens are living inside humans or are walking amongst us or whatever, you can go down that rabbit hole of only seeing videos that agree with your narrative and point out things in real life that could be twisted or misrepresented as, yes, aliens are in fact living among us. This person looks like a shapeshifter. This person has alien eyes. And so you start to believe it and you're like, oh my God, this is real. And it's basically this endless cycle of your opinion is right. And this is why. And we looked at this, this, and this, and we attach those things out of context, which makes them look like a reality. And that's a huge part of the current cancel culture, is that if people want to find flaws in somebody, if people want to find why someone is wrong or right, they can find it by just piecing this, and this together, even if it's out of context. For instance, Andy would probably laugh at this concept, but they took countless clips from comedy sketches and they would frame them as if they were clips from real life. So they're like, look how horrible he is here. Look how horrible he is here. When every single time I'm playing a character, there is this one clip where I say to someone just mean things, but they don't include the fact that I'm dressed as the Joker and they're dressed as Harley Quinn. Like if you understand that one person's dressed as the Joker when they say it and the other person's dressed as Harley Quinn when they receive that information or their interactions or whatever, then maybe, just maybe, it's part of a sketch or it's part of a prank or it's part of whatever. But I've done countless pranks and so forth in the past where people will literally think it's real. I did a whole meltdown video series, which was one of my favorite series ever. I did like 30 videos of I did one where I pooped myself and I rubbed my poop all over and I poured kombucha on myself and had a meltdown while pouring kombucha on myself. I said I lived in a tent. I said I lived in a box. I said I got a divorce. I said I was getting kicked out of my hotel room or whatever. And I was just countless things like that. And it was so fun because people were eating it up and they were believing every bit of it. And I was trying to put subtle hints in all these meltdown videos and nobody seemed to understand it at all because it fueled their already existing narrative that I was a nutcase. And I thought that was one of the most entertaining things to do until someone showed up to my house. And then I stopped doing it because I was like, these guys really have drank the Kool-Aid to such an extent that they're actually willing to turn it into real life. And so,
and does that scare you? Does that scare you when people show up?
If you have small children, it's very scary because, I have a whole family. And when people show up to your house, you just think these people need mental help just because they don't understand that this is fiction.
Right. Right. So if you have small children, you have your wife and you're in a house that's so exposed. I mean, multiple people have shown up there. I could see that could be very frightening. Is that the main reason why you said goodbye?
No, the main reason I said goodbye was because it was an assortment of emotions, but
yeah. And you're an emotional guy, I think.
Can be. It depends. Normally I'm pretty chill unless you put someone I love in danger typically. And that's when I'm not so chill. On camera, I'm whatever I wish to be, which is completely out of my mind if I want to be, because that's fun. Just being a character. So there's a huge difference between, me as a person and me as a character. And people don't distinguish that these days for some reason.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I felt those emotions that I saw you express. I saw you express a lot of sadness, frustration. You went pretty crazy on a few videos. And I was wondering, if you're bipolar or you have depression or anything like that. That's something I suffer from. That's why I'm asking that. Have you ever been diagnosed?
You're bipolar?
Yes.
I am not bipolar.
Okay. So you don't have depression, you don't have anxiety, anything like that?
I have, trying to remember the terminology. I was diagnosed a year ago. I have major depressive disorder.
Okay.
So that just means, an existential crisis is very common with me. And also, what's up? He's talking.
Okay, I know. What was that, Andy?
Is he cussing at commenters?
Boo motherfucking who?
Oh, okay. There you go. That's the father figure I needed growing up is the boo motherfucker.
Yeah. Andy would be more than happy. He's actually a very good father, Andy. And I know that your parents divorced when you were really young, or you were 2 years old. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. And do you think that affected you at all, or do you think that affected how you look at relationships and how your relationships end up? Because you have some volatile relationships. I've had that too. I'm in one currently, in fact. And I keep having that problem where I'm in these volatile relationships. What was that?
Wait. What do you mean you're in one currently?
Well, we're together now, Andy, and sometimes you call me a cunt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
I think you misheard me.
Well, you said it several times. So, I'm in these relationships.
Is that just a comedian thing to call people that?
It didn't sound very comical, but yeah.
I would never take it personally because what matters is if they stand by you when the sun goes down.
But listen.
And also that they're not hurting you physically and that they actually love you and that they give you love. And they don't actually say anything out of pure hate. If they say stuff out of pure hate, that's a problem.
What's that? What is that?
There it goes.
What was that,
Andy? Mushrooms. Can I still come hang out with you later?
Oh no, this is not good.
I didn't know you could take those via pill.
I didn't know you could take those on Kermit and Friends, Andy, a family show.
Well, for all we know, it's aspirin. So
it's just actually a Tylenol. I haven't had it.
There you go.
Okay, good, perfect. Okay, all right. So yeah, I've been in some volatile relationships as well, Onision. So that's why I relate to you so much. Let's take some fan questions. Let's start with this guy, Cyan's Entertainment. You're on with Onision.
Onision, I'm a huge fan of yours. I like all your videos. Did you really chain a girl in your basement?
See, that's another example of the many things that the conspiracy mill musters up. No one was chained in my basement.
Okay. All right. Do you have another question, Science? It sounds like you got some false information.
Oh, it was just an article. Well, I don't get why they would demonetize you. I mean, your channels have been dead anyway. You weren't making money, but the 14-year-old
I actually was making quite a bit of money.
He's one of the biggest YouTubers of all time.
No. Like, I'm not one of the biggest. At one point I was super big, but the point is I was actually making a living salary, and yeah, that was a bit taken away, a little bit. And what did you say about a 14-year-old?
Yeah, that was the other thing. You and your wife were grooming a 14-year-old. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just wondering if it is true.
It's not. That person, as an adult, repeatedly said it wasn't, and they swore on their grandma's life that it wasn't real. If you go to twitter.com/OnisionIRL, so twitter.com/OnisionIRL, it has video footage of them saying it, and it also has, text of them saying it repeatedly that they were not. So the fact that they shifted, they pivoted to completely change their story was pretty frustrating.
So you were suspended indefinitely. Do you think you could sue since they did it for off-site behavior?
You would need a lawyer that isn't afraid of being bombarded by negative reviews, and that's hard to find. Because, cancel culture, it affects people with actual jobs too.
Sorry, I'm just staring at Andy Dick.
Yeah, he looks good. Andy, you look so nice on that roof. I love you there. You look beautiful. Yeah. Okay.
Hear me now?
Yes.
You know what? You know who's gonna hear me real loud and clear? You when you pick up after this stupid podcast.
Andy, what the hell is that? Why are you saying that?
Put that in the reel.
It keeps muting me, dude.
Because your audio is so bad. I'm sorry. I wish it was better. I need to get you some headphones or something. No,
I'm in your apartment building on the roof of your apartment building.
That is true. That's a good point. I got to move Andy in here. That's the thing. Andy lives right now with 9 roommates. So we're trying to find him a good home. So I'm not sure if that's with me or maybe with Onision here. What?
Stop there. It's with you. So
I'm not in an entertainment relevant location.
Really? What do you mean?
Either are we.
LA is a little bit more relevant.
Actually.
Oh yeah, how come you don't live in LA or somewhere like that?
I'm a rain and clouds kind of person.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know you've always lived there and you would be such a great actor. I always thought that about you.
I'm basically a vampire as far as my weather preference. So it's like going to LA feels like my eyes are being melted.
Okay. All right. So let's take another question from Lori, Muslim emo Charlotte. Nice. Lori, a big fan of Onision. Lori, what is your question?
I'm a bit more indifferent now, but I grew up watching Onision. I looked up to him for a really long time. I used to be a patron for his on and off for a couple years. Actually, I've been trying to think of a question all week. And it's been so hard because I already know everything.
Really?
Yes, because I've been paying attention. I know both sides of everything. I think that some of it is very convoluted, and just bull crap. I think it's a bit two-sided. And being someone that experiences a similar mental disorder as said person, I can understand why they would flip like that. But I also think it's extremely shitty that they would do that.
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't the person who went through all the horrible things. Like, yeah, I lost monetization, and yeah, I lost numerous means to make a living on other platforms and so forth. But I really feel like the person they betrayed was the person I'm married to. That person didn't engage. They didn't insult anyone. They didn't do anything bad to anyone ever. And so the fact that they were their whole life was ripped apart just makes me feel bad that when I initially spoke to them, I should have just like, you know, like I have a family, so it's hard to ever regret that. But I feel guilt because if they were never in my life, they'd never have to go through this. And that's a terrible thing. So that's the only person who anyone should feel bad for is my spouse, in my opinion.
Right.
Because like the rest was like, I kicked someone out of my life and then I proceeded to making, you know, passive aggressive videos about how, you know, I can't deal with a certain personality type because it leads to the same kind of result or the same kind of behavior. They took that personally and then lashed out at me. So I triggered them and then they attacked me as a result by passive aggressive videos. But my spouse did nothing.
I know.
They did nothing wrong.
I get it. Trust me. I feel bad for all of my girls I'm dating, or guys even.
Wait, all?
Yes, all of them.
What the heck is that, Andy? All of them?
You, when I asked you to marry me, it's going to be rough and bad.
Okay.
Andy, that really doesn't sound good. And I actually know that you were on a date the other night, and I actually have video footage of it.
Huh? Oh, with who?
With who? Do you want to tell me?
I wasn't on a date.
Oh, really?
Here she goes. Who?
Well, let's check out this video of Andy cheating on me.
What?
Thank you, babe. All you guys love doing it, but there's a big difference between animal pictures on Hinge and animal pictures on Tinder. What's the difference? Don't worry, I'll tell you.
Anyways, if you want it.
I know, you didn't share a picture of her. It's a stressful time. It's been a stressful year.
The VIP.
Another thing I did to try and relieve stress.
Because I got a house in West Hollywood, and I have these amazing people here. Andy Dick's here. Say hi to my friends. This guy is so cute. Oh my god. I love you.
I love you too. You gotta say that. I always right.
He doesn't care.
The exact same height as
Andy, what was that? What was that?
Can I talk? Is that okay?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I'm really pissed off at you.
I don't know what that was. I think it was my friend's wife. That's even worse. You know what? I really don't know what that was.
Onision, are you in a committed relationship with your wife?
Get in there.
So my spouse is transgender. They identify as a guy. I heard I heard that person earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were joking or not, but they seem to be implying that I change people's scientific gender assignment or whatever, like the sex instead of just the social identity. Or
Okay.
either. I was really kind of confused by that. Like the person you spoke to first on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so no, we're very committed. Myself and my spouse.
Okay, because you used to not be that committed, right? You used to bring in other people.
You're talking about exclusive. Are we exclusive? Because committed and exclusive, those are two different things. Committed means that you're like, you know, bound to that person. You are committed to a mission or a marriage or whatever, and that has been tested and proven true over and over again. Like people have repeatedly tried to split us up, and it was unsuccessful. So I'd say we're pretty committed.
Okay, so you're committed but not exclusive. So meaning that you have like threesomes and orgies and stuff like that.
Not orgies.
Not orgies. Okay, let's bring on
orgies are a bit random.
Yeah, I don't think I'd enjoy an orgy. Okay, let's take a question from Charmin Smith. This is Charmin Smith, a very nice person. Charmin, you're on with Onision.
Hi, Onision. How are you?
Hello.
So I'm new to your experience, and I'm familiar with cancel culture biting people. And I know that this has to have been painful for you and your family, certainly your children, your spouse that you mentioned. Other people are starting to have their own personal experiences where they've done something wrong and they're being punished publicly for it. What advice do you have for people who are dealing with this?
Awesome question.
The best advice is to not engage with anyone. Don't talk to anybody and just live in a bubble. That the reason for that being if you ever like for instance, like people would do things that were illegal and would be a danger to my family. And so I would kick them out of my life. I would completely isolate myself from them. And they would feel like, because instead of taking responsibility for what they did, they would straight up say, well, how can I hurt this person as a result? And so when you are someone in the public eye and you get to know people, if you ever have a falling out with them, they now have a ticket to destroy you just by spreading rumors, because everybody loves gossip. Everybody loves those rumors. So there's a guy on YouTube. His name is Anthony Padilla. And he was doing a podcast and he was talking about how he was terrified to get in a relationship because he didn't want to have it go south and then basically destroy himself. And that's the fear of everybody. Like when you are a famous person, you cannot be right in a breakup. You can't be the person who was, morally superior or whatever. You're always a POS because people are begging to see you destroyed and fall. So, yeah. Just if anything, I would just suggest primarily trying to, if you're going to get in a relationship with someone, don't get out of it, because the moment you get out of it, they will try to hurt you if you upset them, and they can. So it's a scary thing for anybody in the public eye.
That is scary. Okay, Bob, you're on with Onision. What is your question, my friend?
Oh, a Trumpster.
Onision, I think you do some pretty good comedy. How you doing?
Hi.
I actually have a few questions for you. You let me ask that many.
Go ahead.
So, do you kind of like revel in your popularity? Is that something that you found yourself doing?
I don't know. Can you rephrase that?
Whenever you started getting like really popular, is that something that sort of became addicting to you, or
I'm a workaholic.
In any way, make you kind of go big-headed on
people? Yeah, I'm a workaholic.
Okay.
It says in the comments here, you say, does Onision revel in his own popularity, and would he be willing to even attempt T-Bob booty hole challenge or not? What's that?
Oh, well, I was going to say that for last, but we can go ahead and hit on that one.
Right.
It's kind of popular nowadays to a lot of people. People I don't even know come back up with it all the time, so it's kind of weird like that. But what that is, one time somebody asked me what I would do to lower child rape and molestations amongst teachers and students in the schools. And even some police at the time have been caught handcuffing and raping people. And so they wanted to know on one of my shows one time what I could do to reduce those problems. And I said, well, that's pretty simple. You go back to the times of Jesus Christ, they wore the robes, and, to be a priest, you couldn't be gay. I mean, they wanted gay people to go to church, but they didn't want them being teachers. What they do is they know if they're gay or not. Well, they lift the skirt up, they give it a check. So that became known as the Trumpster Bob Butthole Challenge. We just call it Beta Hill Challenge if you want. But so basically, I'm asking, did you pass that challenge? Now, don't be afraid of the answers. A lot of gay guys.
Is this a homophobic question? Like, what's the point of the question? I have a very gay only. I have a very gay only fans. So I'm a sexually
so you cannot pass the challenge.
I don't know what it means. Like, what do you think happens when you have gay sex? Like, do you think your butt just turns into Utah, or like, what do you like? You just think that the moment something goes to your butt,
your booty is going to be pulled out like a can of snow.
Right. So there's this thing called poop, and you push it out of your butt every single day. And if poop doesn't turn your butt into the Grand Canyon, I don't see why every single gay man in the world would have a gaping butt. So the booty
think
hole
I-
challenge is like some kind of straight guy myth.
Do you think I'm gay?
You know, I thought you were gay because I thought that's how people were presenting you to the public, and then I don't know, and it's not really my business anyway.
Well, Andy, are you?
No.
Baby. Okay. Just checking.
You know I'm not, baby. Come on.
All right.
But here for us to go out to eat.
No, we're going to go out to eat after this. Let's take some more questions, though, for Onision. It's so fun that he's here.
Bit chop.
Okay, hold on. All right, Eric. Eric, you're on with Onision.
Oh, I'm on with you. I came here for you. So I came here to propose to you. I came here for you. Listen, when I walked into the shul, a normal shul next to the Universal building, the first time I came here before I went to go hang out at Mayhew with the richest kids in the world at their summer camp, I met a woman there who said that she had composed once. Okay? She composed once, and you know what happened? Every single one of the people on the project committed suicide. All of them. Now, the problem with that is that my mother, all of them, every single last one of them was killed. And they stole her script and they made it into once. True story. She's still there in that shul next to the Universal building. All of them were killed. Every single one of them. Now, this is the problem with vultures, right? She was with a team. They were creating her masterpiece. She's a great composer. Now she cleans toilets for a living, okay? But she's safe and she's doing her thing. She's got a temple. It's a good congregation. One of my friends is a lawyer there. He knows all the 4 people that are the head of the movie commission attorneys board with his father. But they killed every last one of them, okay? And you know why they did that, Elisa? They did it to send a message. You know what the message is? If you're not Jewish and you're in Hollywood, who gives a shit, okay? If you write something and it's half complete, a quarter of it's good, and you're not going to be able to finish it, fuck it, And so when you hear these stories from these people, okay, and you say, oh, yeah, that's cool. It's because they're curious, right? They're curious of what's on the other side. But you know what's on the other side? 25% of people aren't going to make it to retirement, Lisa. About, I think it's like 60% of them are going to live on welfare. And then 25% of them are going to be able to retire well. And you know who gets into that 25%? People who fail the most. People who fail the most get into that 25%. But the way you fail the most is you do the right thing over and over and over again, okay? You do the right thing again and again and again. You ball out on that court long enough until you have all of the billionaires on one single phone call. And then you know what happens? They call it living in the positive. What happens is I show up to my grocery store. I get a job at the grocery store. You know what happens? One of my coworkers, his family member gets shot in the head. They literally blow someone's head off to prove a point. I show up in Mayhew and I'm talking to a friend of mine and he says, a friend of mine was literally just butchered to pieces by a psychopath. I show up at the house before I got here, okay, looking to make the next Amazon that I found on Craigslist. The person who's taking care of the house, he works at Amazon. I literally give him the deposit in the Amazon building after we're on the phone with Jeff Bezos, okay? I show up here and I said, this is interesting because I was always looking to make the next Amazon. You know what he says? This is Amazon. But the person who I lived with at the time, his name is Mark, okay? Now, Mark, he takes off of his shirt when somebody comes to our house and he has these tattoos that are like big wings on him, okay? So if you're wondering about my tattoos, they're on Mark right now. And now Mark is with the mafia. He said, these are not gang tattoos. These are mafia tattoos. And you know what Mark did for a long time, like 20 years in Hawaii? He had people chopped to pieces and thrown in body bags. With who? The police, the actual police in Hawaii. So he lived in Hawaii, and when things got out of hand, what Mark would do is he would send a psychopath out to go chop somebody to pieces. And you know why that would happen? Because somebody would rub somebody the wrong way. And you know what? They were not living in the positive when they did that, Elisa. They would rub somebody the wrong way. They'd try to get out of town, and Mark would get a call, and he's a dark wizard, essentially. He's a real mafioso dark wizard. And you know where he lives? He lives at the place I was at last time. You know where I live right now? I live in a White House with mezuzahs on the door. And you know who's above me? Someone who afforded this multi-million-dollar property who works with the government right now. That's right. And so how do you get to the level that we're at right now? You build a balance sheet that's in the positive. And you know what? If shit hits the fan, you just have somebody shot. Nobody gives a damn. You know why that is, Lisa? Because you're actually a good person, okay? Because you keep doing things again and again. You don't support child pornography. You know, you don't support these vultures. And so when we talk about this kind of stuff, the reason for it is, you know, when you're trying to become a rock star, you know, you realize, hey, you know, Kurt Cobain, cops in LA just, you know, literally put a lookalike on a plane, drive him to Seattle and blow his head off for the record companies. Why? He's not really a businessman. And not only that, but he's not willing to go all the way. So when you're willing to go all the way, you're willing to go the distance, you know what happens? You write something like Once and you realize it's not good enough. You write a sequel. You realize it's not good enough. You turn it into a book. You realize it's not good enough. You head back to another sales company. You realize it's not good enough. You make your next phone call. I just transferred an insurance lead for a life insurance policy. This man's wife was at church. I literally transferred it before.
Eric, this is a very nice proposal, but, you know, I'm engaged to Andy right now.
I don't care, Elisa. We were engaged together and you had somebody raping you every week. You know, it's like the vultures have got to go. And the fact of the matter is, you know, when you have a vulture show up at your door, a vulture show up on your property, it's like in venture capital, we know what that is. It's a vulture. It's a vulture egg. We were talking on the phone before this, and you told me to come on here and propose to you. What happened? Oh, a vulture showed up on my roof, so I can't do it anymore because I'm scared. You know, a vulture, you know, kind of knows this Ontario guy, you know, and we kind of know each other. So the fact of the matter is we talked about this, right? We talked about it for a while, and what happened? A vulture came on my roof. Now I can't do it, you know?
All right, Sugar, do you have a question for Onision?
Oh. Well, first of all, who raped you every week? That isn't very nice.
Just don't worry about it.
Hi, sweetheart. I said the thing about the transgender thing. I think I'm funny and I'm not. I didn't mean anything by it.
The documentary did imply that I made people that way, and I was like, you can't, that's not a thing. So I was kind of confused.
Yeah, is it annoying to you that just anybody could make a documentary and just put any view that they want, and then it could go out to millions of people, and then it makes their view different of you? I mean, do you feel like you have no control in that situation?
Yeah, you have no power when a multi-billion-dollar corporation decides to completely and utterly portray you as, you know, the next Charles Manson. So
yeah. And were you know, how sad does that make you? Do you get very affected by that emotionally?
I'm only sad for my spouse. I'm not really sad for myself because from since I began YouTube, which was 2007, I think I started posting. I said I'd rather have 10 fans that genuinely liked me than 1 million that don't even really care. And so, you know, just having like, I do have like on my Discord server, I have, you know, quite a few people there that are genuinely want to be there. And so I have, you know, that. So the rest doesn't really affect me so much. Like when you know that people are not right, like, you know, that, like, for instance, when I made my fake meltdown videos, when I knew they were fake and people would say these are real, it was more so just like non-impactful, just because of the fact that they're wrong. And if they're wrong, then why should that make me completely feel awful? But it, you know, it presents certain real life challenges, like, you know, are people going to be crazy, and are they going to try to affect me personally in real life for
Antonio,
that I played?
Pardon me, but we're being affected by a real life challenge right now, right? Which is, you know,
vultures.
Yeah, vultures. Yeah. So Lisa and I talked for quite a long time, and we finally come up with this idea, you know, which is, you know, it would make a lot of sense because her funders are the same people as my funders, right? So I know David really well, and I know Simon and Lucas well enough, you know, to be able to walk in there and say, you guys know my mentors, Joe and Zach, that I was with for 3 years while we were writing these books. They're published, so the Library of Congress knows exactly what we're up to. So when I meet her and I say, okay, so here's the deal. Basically, David founded Naked Juice. David is funding you right now. He had me propose to you in person, and we're in the middle of discussing. We've been talking for the last 3 days about me coming on here and proposing to her, right? And then what happens is this vulture shows up and says, you know, I'm like the vulture guy who, you know, if something happens, you know, I've got enough, you know, blood money inside of me to kind of push you around, to kind of pimp you out, to make you my bitch again. And what happens is that the actual billionaires that are on the call, there's only like 5,000 billionaires in the world, are like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? You know, do you think we can't just push him off the fucking roof? Because Elisa and I have been talking about this for over a year and a half. This vulture shows up, and what happens is there's the other, like, however you let it simmer. There's like 7 billion people on Earth, but every single billionaire, there was like literally like 50 billionaires on a call when I got to the office where Elisa was. So the billionaires are like, what the fuck is going on with our fucking hedge fund right now? What's going on with our fucking rock goddess and our rock god right now? How the fuck are we going to launch these shows? We literally put shows together in clubs because my friends owned half the clubs in Scottsdale. Okay. And then we ran photography for these clubs, and we did prints. It was a lot of work, but right now that's what we need to be doing. And when a vulture shows up and you say, yeah, I'm going to vulture this lead, what happens is he says, well, I want to own the intellectual property. I want to be a billionaire now too. But you know what's going to happen? It's not going to happen. And you know why that is? He's not living in the positive. You know, he shows up. We've been talking for 3 days. I'm going to vulture this lead. It's going to somehow work. I'll do this underhanded thing. I'll scare them. I'll have my fear tactics. I'm telling you, it's like once we get going, Elisa, you'll see a lot of these people come up to you. Hey, sign this record deal. We'll take 96% of this. Okay. But when you play Madison Square Garden, it won't really matter. It's like, no, dude, that's not what we're doing right now. They showed up like Jeff Bezos like that in New York too. But what happened is that he got away with a chick, and they got back on the phone, and they called people and sold books, and they worked at it. They put a lot of work in it. Before you knew it, everybody in the world in America had bought a book from Jeff Bezos. And then when they launched...
Just 1 second, Eric. Okay, so this person I met because I was looking for a bike for Andy. Because Andy... So, sir, what is your name? This is a new person. Hold on, his internet's really bad. So this guy, I really want to get him on here because he offered Andy a bike. So right now, I'm just going to put out a notice for everyone. Andy can't get around. So we need to get a bike for him. And this very nice guy who's supposed to be on this podcast today is offering Andy his bike. And he also needs money for pizza and all his other meals because I only sponsor Andy up until 10 p.m. But he's up all night, Andy. So that's the problem. So this guy, okay, what is your name? Sir? Oh my God. What the hell is going on? Sir? Okay, never mind. That guy is supposed to help us with Andy and getting a bike and just some money so he can get food. And anybody else who wants to contribute to that, like actually Onision offered a bike for Andy. Was that a real offer, Onision?
Yeah, like if he wanted to just grab it, he can. But
wow.
I'm quite far away, so it wouldn't be worth the trip, probably.
Yeah. Okay. So let's bring this rabbi on. Rabbi Harry Friedman. You're on with Onision. Rabbi Harry, any question for Onision?
I feel like I'm on with Jim Morrison right now.
That's a nice compliment.
I'm not. I think you got me mixed up. I'm not a rabbi. I'm a doctor with the CDC, if you recall.
Oh, okay, a doctor with the CDC. Actually, I have your bio here. Let me just read it.
Yeah, I don't know who this rabbi. Let me just try to get this camera straight. Okay.
Okay.
So
well, you look
with the CDC. I don't know.
Okay, so Dr. Harry Friedman.
Yes.
Is a doctor. Okay, so give us a little bit of your background.
I work with Fauci. I was involved in helping, with the COVID and everything, preventative suggestions, things like that. Some of the things that have been going on in terms of who has thrived with the COVID, even though it's horrible, and who has suffered, things like that.
Okay. So you're very helpful with COVID. Okay, great. All right, it's great to have you on here.
As well.
And so my producer, who's actually missing right now,
right
during the live show, named William Quigley, who's probably going to be fired today. Did you have a good experience with that producer, William Quigley? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not, I'd rather talk privately. I don't know what.
Well, I was just curious because he told me you are a rabbi. and you're not.
No,
And you're a doctor.
You and I had touched base, and I sent you, my actual bio. He seemed to think I was a rabbi because occasionally in my temple, I've sort of substituted as a rabbi. So I'm kind of known to do a hell of a bris. I generally take half off and I charge double. So
you're sometimes a rabbi, you're sometimes
but
a doctor.
that's not really like I just substitute once in a while. But my main thing is I'm a doctor.
You're a doctor. So I just got a note from another producer. You're Ray Romano's doctor?
No. I'm a friend of his. Boy, your producers are definitely screwing me up here.
Yeah, I would fire him if he was here, to be honest with you. I would.
Okay. I'm a friend of his, but on the side, during the day, I'm a doctor. And at night, I'm a stand-up comic, and I've opened for Ray Romano around the country.
Oh, that must have been interesting. What was that like?
He's a friend of mine.
Okay. Did you enjoy opening for him?
Of course. He gets a great audience. He gets a terrific audience.
Okay. So I have a video of you here. I would like to play it.
This is a video with me and a fellow comedian, and we made a video where we did a little parody of Seinfeld, comedians in cars getting coffee, and this is comedians in cars getting COVID.
Okay, great. So I'm going to get Onision. So Onision, I don't know if you know him, but he had 85 million views on a single video.
I had 150.
Okay. So we're going to get Onision's opinion on your video because he's made a lot of successful videos.
Okay.
He was featured on Tosh, is it 4.0, 2.0? The Tosh Show 2.0, I think. And he was featured on a documentary that's extremely popular. So what we're going to do is we're going to play your video and see what he thinks and get his honest opinion on it. So here it is. Let me just find it. Comedians in cars. Let's see. See if I can find it. Okay, comedians in cars getting COVID.
This is a 2007 Toyota Hybrid Camry. It's got a V4 engine plus an extra lithium battery, and it gets 30 to 35 miles to the gallon in normal traffic and over 40 miles a gallon on the highway. And that's all you really need to know. It's a car. Who cares? I drive this car, and I also have solar panels on my house, unlike my very special guest today, who drives a big gas-guzzling SUV because apparently 2 kids can't fit in a regular car. Hi, my name is Harry Friedman, and this is Comedians in Cars Getting COVID. My guest today is comedian Talia Reese, a rising star in the New York comedy scene.
Hello?
Hey, Talia, how are you?
Jerry?
No, it's not Jerry, it's Harry.
I thought this was going to be with Jerry.
It's not Jerry, it's Harry. And it's Comedians in Cars Getting COVID, not coffee.
Wait, what?
Oh, Jesus. Look, I'll be there in like 5 minutes. We'll talk then, okay? Talia!
Oh, get away from me! Now, what is this all about? Comedians in cars getting COVID.
I thought it would be interesting to drive around and we look for COVID. Come on, get in the car, let's go.
What? No, I'm not getting in your car.
Well, then let's take your car.
You know what? I'm not having you in my car. I wouldn't even follow you in my own car. You know why? Because this whole thing is stupid.
Oh, come on, look, I'll disinfect my entire car. Look, I'll spray the whole car. See? It's all clean.
You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm not going. I don't need the extra hits on YouTube.
Oh, come on. This is a great idea. Come on. We go and we look for COVID.
Harry, it looks like you already found it.
Get in the car.
Go away.
Hello? Yes! I just got a call from Seinfeld. He wants me to do the real one.
Wait.
I'll see you around. So long, sucker.
Wait, Harry, wait. I'll go. I'll do it. I'll do it.
I don't think so.
Whoa.
I don't think so.
Whoa.
Get back.
Yes, Andy.
Baby, I just want to come down there. I just want to come down there.
You want to come here?
I want to lay down for like 20 minutes so we go out to eat.
Why can't you lay down up there? There's all those nice lounge chairs. You can lay by the pool. It's cold?
I want to come down there. It's cold.
All right, I'll consider that. All right, that was Andy. All right, so Onision, what did you think of Dr. Harry's video?
What's the goal? And I can say my answer based on that. Is the goal views? Is the goal laughs? Is the goal what's more important?
None of the above. Just to annoy people.
It's a funny idea. It's a really funny idea, and it's very witty in the sense that I would have never thought. I don't think I'd think of that. It's a good play on words.
Okay.
How amazing is that? Oh my gosh, that like warms my heart so much that Onision said that, Harry. I mean, that's unbelievable. So would you say for him to make more videos like that on a frequent basis, what should he do? He has that video. What should he do now?
Everyone starts out somewhere. So like when I began making videos, they were not as good as that. So
awesome.
That's better than when I began. So I would say you could go anywhere. Just
whatever you
want.
Take time to make, and then the thing is, I know online you have to do a certain amount of volume, and these take time to make. So
just have really, really good ideas, and if it takes you the longer amount of time it takes you, the probably better it'll do, because people notice. Like they tend to notice. Billy's here. People tend to notice how much effort you put into something. I've seen that personally. Like when I put more effort into something, or at least I paid attention to a trend, it took off a lot more efficiently than whatever. But it depends on your goal. If you want a small audience, do what you want.
I think the baseball bat, you should have like hit the girl with the baseball bat at the end. That would have been.
Then you get canceled. Then you get canceled all over again.
Well, like it'd be an act, right? Like when he pulled it out, I was like, oh, he's gonna.
No, but later on they'll do a documentary where they edit it out of context and they say you actually beat people with baseball bats. And then they don't tell people it's a joke.
Like I have a little boy in my bedroom. That's not a joke. He's just laying on a couch, but it's like it's a little boy. It's okay. I can't get canceled for having a little boy in my bedroom, right, little boy? Help me. Right. He doesn't need help. Stay there off camera. Sorry. There's Elisa, I just woke up. I saw your reminder for the show. I forgot that you were having a show this morning because I don't follow time and space or anything.
That's okay. I'm happy you're here.
I took a bag of gummies so I could sleep early last night. I have sleep gummies, and I just overslept.
Well, I'm glad you're here now. Do you have a question for Onision?
I literally missed the entire show. I don't know what's been talked about. I do want to say hi, Onision. You followed me back on Twitter this week, and then you blocked me, right?
Yeah, a certain. What was the last tweet that you made about me?
What did I make a tweet about you recently?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
What was the tweet?
Why don't we find out, Billy?
Yeah. I honestly don't remember when I said anything.
You tweeted at Keemstar in February.
Okay. I made a joke tweet that I thought was really funny. What was it? Keemstar was saying YouTube is 16 years old, and then I put up something about you and the age of consent in Washington. Like I don't remember the exact joke. I just thought it was funny. Did that hurt you, or did you think it was funny?
My immediate thought was, what a dishonest prick. because everybody knows, like, for a fact, there's nothing out there that I'm even remotely interested in 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yet considering my position, the position that I'm in, for someone who used to be my friend to tweet something like that was deeply annoying.
I'm sorry about that. I thought it was funny. Like I know
Yeah,
we joked around a lot.
It's
so
super funny to
Yeah.
completely disown your friend the
Okay.
moment a bunch of dishonest people say horrible things about
Okay.
them after they were rejected by him.
I will say this. I didn't disown you the moment. I disowned
Pretty much,
you.
actually. You were literally, out of all my friends, you were the first person to just be like, "Oh, please don't cancel me."
Okay.
and then we had that text conversation, you and I, where I described in depth how you were basically the worst friend to have because you jumped ship so quickly you didn't remotely defend me. And you said, "Yeah, I know." You responded saying your defense was, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, I remember defending you for years, right? And one of my biggest defenses for years was that Sarah herself said that you guys had nothing going on with you, right? And then
and Sarah herself,
when that came out,
repeatedly said that nothing inappropriate happens.
yeah,
even after
and then
the fact.
when that came out, it like completely muddied 2 years of defense that I had, and I'm like, what can I do other than step back?
What came out,
that you had a sexual relationship with Sarah?
And how did that occur? Through what arrangement?
Well, I think Sarah told the internet, right?
No. How does someone wind up having a sexual arrangement with someone? People don't ever think about how did it begin. First of all, Sarah said twice after I said I can't do this with you. After I said that, she said twice, "I'm sorry for raping you guys," to me. That's a fact. It literally happened. She said it twice. I spoke to her January 23rd, 2021. So this January, I spoke to her and she again admitted that she said, "I'm sorry for raping you guys," twice. She admitted, so she knows it happened. But for some reason, she leaves that out of every single discussion possible because when you are a person who has apologized for raping people, it doesn't really go with the whole Onision's this psychopath narrative.
Yeah.
And the fact that you didn't like stand by and go, "Okay, how did this actually start?" It started through sexual extortion where somebody said, "I could destroy your life if I wanted to." And then later on said, "I'm only going to sign this agreement in which I won't go around saying horrible things about you if you sleep with me." That's the arrangement that she proposed to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So considering this, like, first of all, a tweet that I would be interested in a 16-year-old. If I was interested in 16-year-olds, why wouldn't I just sleep with her when she was 16? Why did I constantly say, "Stay away from me"? Why did I kick her out for being inappropriate with me like 2 times when she is even implying that anything was going on? I would literally say, "You got to go because nothing's going on. I'm not interested in you." I would call her things like literally Meg Griffin and another comedian who's plus size, which she later on says that's why. And I was actually saying that she was like that comedian because she was wearing glasses and blonde, not because she wasn't fat ever or anything like that. But she then decided to say, after swearing on her grandmother's life, after swearing repeatedly that she was never groomed, as they say, as an adult, after saying these things, and then blackmailing us or sexually extorting us and getting what she wanted, and then getting rejected when I freak out because I can't do it anymore. It's freaking me out and it's very uncomfortable and stuff. And after, all these things go down, she apologizes for raping us. And then she goes home. And I make a video about people with BPD, and she claims she doesn't have it, which is fine. But that's when she goes ape on me and starts to say, even in her live stream, she admits everything that happens. But she says, he never trusted me. And I never gave him a reason not to trust me. But now I just can't do it anymore. And I'm just like, this is why I never thought, like, this is why I looked at you and I said, this person isn't trustworthy, because they would actually take something that they know was innocent on my part and innocent on my spouse's part, and they would completely frame it a totally different way to fall in line with the obviously and significantly and famously corrupt Chris Hansen. Fell right into his get this, dude. Tell me what this interaction is real quick. In this phone call I had, I said, "Did anyone get paid for the interviews?" And she said no. And I said, "Did anyone make money because they were involved on the show? Any of the interviewed guests, did they make money because they were involved in the show?" And she responds, "I can't legally answer that question."
I got a contract from them. They tried to get me on the show. They were gonna fly out and sit down and interview me, and I stopped responding to their emails because I could see the setup from everything. They were struggling trying to keep that show together. They didn't have enough people to talk. I talked with the producer for an hour and a half on the phone, and it didn't add up to me. What the hell am I going to say anyways? Like you said, like
I tried to fuck you so many times, dude.
You literally humped me on camera, and everybody says I let you rape me, and that was a joke, and that's why I had no problem making the joke about YouTube being 16 and you, because when we were friends, we joked.
You're hitting
And
someone while they're down, and you also
you're
like, aren't in good
always
terms.
down. You've been down for over 10
No,
years.
I haven't been always down. In the last 10 years, I mean, like, what, 10 years ago, I was like number 67 most subscribed on YouTube. So I wouldn't say that's down.
It's down when you have those videos of Shiloh coming out making you look like a psycho predator. Like that's
No,
down,
actually,
right?
everybody hated Shiloh for the longest time, and then they just had selective memory and forgot all the fucked
Yeah.
up shit she did. There's a reason
Yeah, what was that? There's a reason what? Oh,
Something happened with his audio, but
okay.
I'm wondering, Billy, if you guys can be friends again.
I don't know if Onision wants to be friends with me, and I don't know how we go back on what happened, because honestly,
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Like the whole situation with Sarah is why I had to step away from you, and it was too much.
Sorry. That's what's crazy is like you just became like the defender of women, and like I am just a hero white knight for women, and you didn't stop and go, is this shit true?
I think if you look at everything I said, it was listen.
I didn't
listen
look
to
at
the
almost
girls.
anything.
I was
didn't look at
always
almost anything
saying
you said.
listen. I was like listen to the girls, and they'll tell you.
Why
the truth.
not listen to evidence?
I mean, there's evidence.
Why
right?
don't you listen to the person who has countless receipts?
Well, why don't you listen to all the people who want to see you in jail and you're not there, right? Like, obviously, you didn't do anything illegal, but that's not why I felt it was best to distance myself from you. I felt it was best to distance myself from you because time and time again, there were friends that we had that you would ghost them. You would make them feel
Who?
like they were worthless. I'm not going to name names if I need to name names. The last one. The last one, I could say without naming names, the last one, right as all this went down, you started ghosting her. She'd been at your house for like months. She'd come over and hang out with you.
No,
and Kai.
dude.
And,
those
and-
those texts are on twitter.com/Onision.
I know. You posted them publicly, and she felt
'Cause
like she was worthless.
Because they publicly attacked us and acted like my spouse belonged in prison when he didn't.
Yeah,
He's literally
that
out
was
of everyone involved, he's literally better than all those people. He's like one of the greatest people I've ever met, one of the most honest people as far as morality and consistency and selflessness.
I'm
one of the best
honestly-
people. It's like seeing somebody repeatedly kick a puppy while saying they're good people. That's what I'm seeing from my perspective.
Yeah,
'Cause there's a reason I've been with my spouse for over 9 years. Because they're amazing, and they can actually. There's somebody who like literally can be married to me, and I'm not the easiest person. And the fact that they can, and they also, they hold their own in arguments and stuff, to the point where I'm all feeling sorry for myself in videos. But the point is that they stick up for themselves, but they also stay with me, and they're reasonable. And you're talking about a person that person. First of all, apparently they're all on good terms now. Everybody's friends again or whatever.
That's
but,
good.
Yeah, but secondly, that person literally apologized because they completely and utterly threw my spouse under the bus because they were ghosted.
Yeah, because they were ghosted.
And you know why they were ghosted? Because
why?
Because the best friend that my spouse ever had just went public trying to make them look awful, and so they had a major trust complex. Like use your reasoning skills. Why would somebody ghost somebody else? Probably because they just got their heart ripped out of their chest and they're trying to deal with that.
Yeah, and that's why that person responded so poorly, I think, because they had their heart ripped out by the heart being ripped out of your spouse. It's a
Right,
chain reaction.
So you had one example.
Yeah. Well, that was
And that person has since resolved their differences. And is actually on.
And I know there's other
some
people.
of the best terms I've seen, actually.
There's other people who have resolved their differences with you as well that had a weird falling out with you over the years, and it was a repeated thing. There was another person that we shot with the same time we shot with that person at the house in Yakima, and they had a falling out with you, and I heard that they went out with you to a lunch afterwards after we stopped talking, and that I thought that was nice that you made up with these people.
What, Andy? Andy, I'm busy. What?
Do I have to walk home?
No, you don't have to walk home. I'm bringing you to lunch after this.
I don't want to be on the roof. It's freezing.
Go inside. You don't have to be outside on the roof.
I guess I'm just gonna walk home.
Why would you walk home? Just go to the lobby. Just make yourself comfortable there, and I'll.
No, I'm gonna come down with you.
Oh God. Ugh. God, being in a relationship's tough. So do you think there's a possibility that you guys would be friends again? Onision, can you forgive Billy for the tweet and for, showing up? Do you feel like Billy was trying to like frame you when he showed up at your house, or what do you think was his intention?
I think that what he did was really funny until you consider the fact that I have a family. And then it's not so funny, the whole showing up to my house thing. Like, I didn't really think about that at the time, but it was like really messed up. I was like, holy crap, I have like my kids inside and you're telling people how to go to my house. It's like borderline evil stuff.
We didn't like show how to get to your house. We just showed the front of your house. We made sure to like hide privately the entire way there.
You also proved that I was physically there and everybody already knew my address.
Yeah. And honestly, I didn't want to do that entire thing. If you watch the whole show, I was kind of being pushed by my my old pal Joe. And when we got there, I was hoping that you wouldn't even come outside. When the lady pulled up before you even came outside and said she called the police, I was like, good, this is going to end with the police telling me to never come back. And then what happened. And I for what I did there to you and your family, I truly am sorry. But that doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. It's in the past. It happened.
Can you trust Billy again? Onision, can you trust him?
First of all, I love how this turned into an episode of Maury or whatever.
I'm the father.
No, like this may be misplaced
Andy,
or whatever. This
he just keeps calling me over and over.
This may be misplaced, but I have a deep love for most everyone I've ever been friends with, so I can forgive people pretty easily. It's just a matter of, putting myself in the same situations and not allowing that to happen.
Yeah. And I'll say this, to me, you were a great friend, and I really am sorry that it didn't work out for that. Because you
will you just kiss and make up already?
What, Andy? What?
Where are you?
I'm in my apartment right now doing Kermit and Friends. What do you mean with who? Billy the Fridge, Onision, Corey? What do you mean with who?
We can always continue this another time so Andy can get off the roof.
I'm freezing.
Okay, all right, fine. Okay, I'll end early because of you, Andy.
We're having a foursome for crying out loud.
Andy, okay.
Early.
No, I'm ending it early because of you, Andy. Yes, look what you've done. I had a great show here with Onision.
I said I just want to come down there and lay down there with you.
Lay down there? Okay, so you want me to get off my chair here, and you want me to go answer the door? My dog's gonna be barking. Can't you just wait? Just wait like 5 minutes. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, baby. How far away is my walk? Tell me that.
I'm gonna pick you up and I'm gonna be down there in like 3 minutes, okay?
Oh, I've been up here for an hour. Please.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna take one more question. I'm gonna end. Oh my gosh. One more question. DJ Smooth, you're on with Onision. I have to end soon because my boyfriend or whatever the heck he is, fiance, is going crazy on my roof. DJ Smooth, what is your question for Onision?
I didn't have a question. I just wanted to say big up Chris Hansen and all the boys. Big up the Right Opinion. Woo!
What is that, DJ Smooth? What do you mean?
Oh, you're not on too, are you? Right, you've got no clue at all. Wait there, let me pull this off. Right, you're on to Chris Hansen.
What?
He's an internet troll. They're very common.
He's not an internet troll.
No, I think he's saying you're an internet troll.
I'm saying you have a bandana on your mask, on your face. Yeah. That was smart. You have a bandana on your face. Yeah, you're alone in your room, buddy.
You don't know I'm alone here.
Is it sunny inside?
I'm in England, man. It's never sunny anywhere.
Yeah, so it kind of seems a little silly, like you're an internet troll.
Big up, Chris Hansen.
All right.
There's your fan, right there. That's your fan.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is the host of the wrap-up show. We have a wrap-up show to this show, Onision, that goes over what happens on Kermit and Friends on a different show. Corey, you have a couple questions for Onision before we talk about the wrap-up?
Yeah, DJ Smooth ruined one of them. I was just wondering why he never answered the door when Chris Hansen was going rat-tat-tat. But
there you go.
How long
Is
have
it
you been
still
grooming
sunny?
Elisa?
Is it still sunny?
Well,
but how long have you been grooming Elisa?
Well, me.
There's one. I don't know the guy. I'm just getting questions out of the blue to ask from
I'm too young
a little
to
birdie.
Who's
That's me. I'm way too old to be groomed, first of all. So that's out of the question. And also Onision's married for like 9 years or something like that. So
That's another one I got from someone, is that why did you film your wife's meltdowns? That's just, like I said, I don't know the guy.
I love the consistent misinformation. Not my wife.
Well, I just got word that you filmed your wife's meltdowns for some reason.
I've got
meltdown.
one. What was the deal with you in the back of a hatchback truck in your underwear, floating around?
What?
Huh?
He was in the right. You know, fucking trucks you guys have in the States have like the hatch. You know, the fucking open backs to them. Yeah, he was in one of them, filled with water, and he was in his underwear, and he was kind of like floating around in it.
Why are you wearing a mask and glasses? That's my question. Like, I feel like if you're wearing a mask and glasses,
like
you don't
you said,
have an
he's
opinion.
an internet troll, and he's not even good at it. He's just an internet troll wannabe.
I'm not
Trust
even
me.
wrong though. Like there's a legit video.
Do you think?
I know that for a while.
Do you think that like you look cool right now? Like you're making mad cool points, getting them on the online.
I think you're avoiding my question.
Well, I just if I'm going to talk to someone, they should at least have the decency to show me their face.
Nobody looks cool right now, but I think Billy the Fridge is looking pretty good as a friend compared to those guys. I'm so happy that you guys are friends again. I hope that you continue to talk. And I
that was
like
an interesting segue. Escape.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
No,
It's like,
to answer that guy's question in a way, she told me to upload it so I could lay with her that night rather than working all night, because it was the only thing that happened that day. And I was like, do you want people to be aware of your the memory loss or whatever you go through? And she had done it many times prior. That's why I wound up actually recording it, because I wanted to show her what she was doing so she could understand her situation or whatever. And I had previously attempted to contact medical help, but she would always like do this magical thing where she would either get better all of a sudden or she would otherwise indicate that she didn't want any help. So I wound up actually recording it. And when I recorded it, I showed it to her and I asked if she wanted to share this with people in case they had similar experiences. She said yes. She told me to upload it, so I uploaded it. And at the end of the video, we're all chill and laughing. So that's something that people like to keep out of the full context, because it doesn't suit that narrative that they want. So yeah, no, that was a dysfunctional relationship. It was the most messed up relationship I've ever been in. And it's interesting being with people and how they can actually change how you view the world and how you function as a person. Like with my husband, if I was to see a meltdown, first of all, I wouldn't have seen many prior meltdowns, so I wouldn't have filmed it to show them. They would rather contact an ambulance or whatever right away. Someone I did contact as a result of one of Shiloh's meltdowns was the police, because she threatened to, as she admitted, end her own life and make it look like I did it. So she was threatening to frame me for her murder, and then the police actually grabbed her and took her out of the house because she was mentally unstable. But people don't like to mention that either, that the police showed up, saw she was mentally unwell, and took her. And then that's when I was told by the police that I should escape her to wherever I could go, because the eviction process takes so long that it would be unstable to be around such a person like that. But what they take out of that is you abandoned your girlfriend in your house, and that's why you're bad. Not I was actually escaping an incredibly abusive environment where someone just threatened to frame me for their murder. Like that's why like the selective memory of what Shiloh is and what she put me through, it's really almost horrifying just because it's such a narrow-minded narrative. And now she's being framed as an absolute hero when it's like, dude, the police literally hauled her away because of how she was behaving. And I called the police on her 2 other times. And the police, again, told her to stay away from me just because she was so aggressive physically. And like, for instance, she was body slamming a door over and over and over again because I had broken up with her for one of the 7 times that I broke up with her. She was body slamming it because that's what she does when you reject her. She like will not allow you to have your physical space, will not allow you to be alone in your room. And of course, if I was body slamming a door and I had the police called on me, then people would have, you know, that would be all over the documentary. And that would probably be the pivotal example of why I would be a monster. But they just completely omit that because they want to make her look like some kind of hero. And that's, you know, it's a good summary of the 2020s. 2020s are batshit.
You're
crazy.
a monster. You're a monster for talking so much right now when Andy Dick is cold and needs a sandwich.
That's a good point. I accept that responsibility. That's a really good point. Sorry. I'm sorry.
That is a good point. Okay. Well, Onision, I just want to thank you so much for joining us today. Did you have fun at all?
Yeah, I was confused half of it, but I had fun the rest.
Okay. Confused in a good way though, right?
Yeah, confused in a new way.
In a new way. Okay. Well, it's been just such a blessing to have you. You are amazing. Like I said, I'm a humongous fan. And just thank you. And is there anything you want to promote or anything you want to talk about that you're up to next?
No.
No? All right. All right. Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to play my favorite song, the Banana Song.
Sky!
What, Greg?
I'm a banana!
You're a what?
I'm a banana!
What happened to your clothes?
I'm a banana! I'm a banana! I'm a banana! I'm a banana! Look at me, man! Yeah. I'm a banana! I'm a banana! I'm a banana! Look at me, man! Banana power! Banana power! Banana power! Banana power! Banana power! Banana power! Look at me move! Uh-oh, banana time! Uh-oh, banana time! Uh-oh, banana time! Stop! 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 Card, fart, mark, dark, hard, dark, card, mark, dark, fart, dark, hard. Chicken, chicken, chicken. I am chicken, chicken, girl, chicken, girl. Stop! I'm a banana, I'm a banana, I'm a banana.
I love that video. I love that song. How fun was Onision today, you guys?
I'm really glad you picked him and he was on today. I loved his story. I connected with it on a really personal level I didn't expect to.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean? How did you connect with it on a personal level?
Well, I have a really complicated story I don't talk a lot about. And I appreciated him sharing how people can go out of their way to destroy you and how important it is not to try to feed into their chaos.
Yes, yes. But sometimes it's confusing. You know, if two people are fighting all the time, like Andy and I right now,
right?
You know, it's like who is wrong? Sometimes it's hard to tell. Like maybe both people are wrong. Maybe both people are in the wrong.
Right. Right. Absolutely. It can absolutely happen because there's usually a situation where everybody holds some sort of responsibility. Right. And it is often the time where someone has to be in charge. Someone has to be the winner in every situation. And some people will win no matter what the cost is, even if they have to destroy you or lie about you. we all experience those things, and I'm really glad that he had this opportunity to share his story and his side of the story. I know it's complicated. I know there's more to it than what was shared here today.
Coming, or should I just start walking? I don't know.
Andy, just stay downstairs. Oh my gosh. No, I wish I had, like, at times like this, I wish I had a bigger platform, because I feel like today, people think he's crazy. People think he's such a bad guy. But today he was so calm and he was so intelligent and he was so just, he just seemed like a regular guy, to be honest with you.
He really did. And it seemed like he had tried to put himself out there authentically. He had tried to create content that he thought was humorous, that he thought would get people engaged. And it got twisted and manipulated and turned back around on him in a way that was dangerous for him, for his family, for his friends. He lost his circle. And I connect with that.
Yeah, because these people are so against him. And I always love that person. I always love the underdog. And I just see in him something that's so frustrating. I get frustrated when everybody's especially like pedo. I hate that. Right. I hate that so much, because once you say that about somebody, you can never escape that ever. And that's following him now. And it just makes me sick, because he's so talented. I always thought, watching him, that he could be like an actor, like a famous actor. I mean, he's just, his looks, his personality, everything. And then I feel like people are very jealous of him. I think that's what it comes down to a lot, because when I see, like, even my haters at my level, people are hating on me. The bigger you get, the more haters you get. And that's just how it is. And he's obviously very good at dealing with it, but it annoys me seeing people go against him when he's obviously innocent. He's not in jail. He wasn't convicted of anything.
No, that pedo accusation is something I feel really sensitive about too, right? I don't think you should just go around accusing anybody of being something they're not falsely, but especially not that. That is such a dangerous statement. It's so detrimental to the victims, to the people who are being victimized. Grooming is such a broad topic. We often tend to think about it as a predator and one victim, but that's not the case. Grooming realistically needs to be looked at from a more holistic level, because predators have done a very successful job of grooming their communities to assault their victims for them, right? We're familiar with victim shaming and victim blaming.
Hey,
These
Charmin.
are all ways. One second, just a moment, Eric.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but my problem is, Elisa and I have a deal, right? We have a deal with her mother, who likes me a lot, with David, who likes me a lot. So we have a deal going on right now, and then we have a vulture on her roof. So what happens if this vulture has his arm twisted by some really bad people and they lead Elisa astray and they hurt her seriously? What do we do in that situation if they try to victimize her again? Remember, Benji Bronk, took her hostage for a long time, and I've been trying to get her out of this. Her mother's been trying to get her out of this situation. She knows I'm here to negotiate for someone who's like my family, like my little girl, pretty much. If my little girl was in this situation, I'd be here to negotiate her way out. And so what do you do when it's like perpetual victimization, And what do you do with people like a vulture who's used to being able to walk around with his vulture wings and victimize chicks? What do you do with those kinds of people?
I mean, that's a great question. One of the things we talked about a couple of weeks ago was the importance of men helping other men man up. Right. And you clearly do not like Andy for whatever the reason is.
Well, no, it fills a role. You're starting a venture. You're starting on a mission. It's going to be a long road. If you want to go play the Super Bowl, you want to go play Madison Square Garden, it starts now. And her mother knows that. Her mother's a real estate agent. She's a damn good businesswoman too.
Hey, Eric,
she knows that. So
okay, now you're going like this.
So my question is, when you're on a long road like that, we know that it could be anyone. Anybody could come by and vulture the lead. It could be anyone who comes over and says, hey, sign on the dotted line and I'll get half of you making a hundredth of what you were going to make, versus you getting all of what you're going to make. So let me just vulture the deal. And she knows David is looking at this right now like, who the bleep does this person think he is?
Eric, you're more obsessed Quigley and Chris put together.
So in venture capital, we know that it just happens. People come by and they act like there's something that they're not. You know, they say I'm famous and they act like there's something they're not. Then it gets real, and we find out when they go to Vegas, they actually check in with these people and they go, "Uh-oh, we're already at the top." You know, and then they're in trouble. You know, and you try to warn them in advance. Don't vulture my lead. This is not going to end well. And her mother knows,
right? Because you think of her as a stock that you have invested in, and you own her, and you get to decide what she does and who she does it with, and you don't like Andy.
Good point.
You made that very clear last week, Eric.
It's that I like her mother.
That is not the case.
I like her.
She
I
is
like
a
Eric.
whole person,
Can you take your tantrum and go
she
get
gets
a pillow?
to
Maybe that'll
choose
make
who
you feel
she
better.
wants to be with, how she wants to run her show, who she wants to involve it with.
But if she asked David about this, if she asked David, "Do you want to fund my Rockstar concerts?" and he tells her, "Fuck no," and then she says, "Why is that?" "Because I chose a vulture out of the hatch." Do you know who he picked? Me. Okay. And why did he do that? Because I'm a venture capitalist. Okay. I already spent
and you
3
bring
years
some
in the
fun
hatch.
drama to the show too.
So
You were willing
that's
to
the
really
truism.
swing from the fences last week on Andy, and that brings some drama, which is
goes to her
exciting.
funders and says, "What do you think I should do?" And she says, "I picked a vulture out of the hatch. You know, what do you think I should do?" They're going to tell her, "Well, you know what? You live your life the way you want to live it. But you know what? If you want to be on stage with Eric in Madison Square Garden, you need to straighten up and fly right. Okay, just like a soldier on the battlefield. If your general says you need to go in this battle zone, I need you to shoot these targets. It might hurt. Okay, it might sting, right? But you got to be able to just take your orders as they come." And Elisa did that for a long time. That's how she became really successful in sales. She sat right there with David, the founder of Naked Juice, and he said, "Straighten up, fly right. You might have a bad deal when you get home, but you'll be here 6 to 6, pretty much 6 days a week, so you won't have to deal with it very much. But when I tell you to shoot, I need you to shoot to kill, okay? When I tell you to move the gold deal, move an entire life-saving IRA, because we're in trouble right now in economics. I need you on the call. I need you on every single one of these gold deals, because you know who's our real base, who are our real audience is these hicks. But these hicks aren't just hicks; they're constitutionalists. And when shit hits the fan in politics, you're going to be on deck, honey. And when this thing happens, it says, "I'm just going to tear you down." The VC who's by her side, who pulled her up here and said, "Just straighten up and fly right." You know, it's not too difficult. You know, but when I say shoot, you need to shoot to kill. Okay, when a vulture comes by, you need to push it out of the hatch. And when she talks to David, he's going to say, "Damn right," because guess what? You know how many people would be willing to die to go play the Super Bowl halftime show? You know how many people would be willing to die to be Taylor Swift? But you know what? Taylor Swift knows how to straighten up and fly right. You know, when her investors say, "I just need you to go on stage in front of all these people and shoot to kill." Okay, it's not going to be easy, but you're a soldier. And not only are you a soldier, they have a word for it. They call it a super soldier, right? Someone who's willing to go into a battle zone solo, right? Just one woman, right? Take on the entire army, right? Solo, okay? Solo this mission. And when these things come by her and fly by her, her mother is going to look at this, and her mother is going to be like, "Damn straight." Because if you want to be like freaking Paris Hilton, it's one thing. But if you want to be like Hillary Clinton and then also be like Taylor Swift, it's a different deal entirely. And when you see something like Andy flying up and he hears that we're talking for 3 days and we agree that I'm going to propose to her on the show because we're going to get our act together. We're going to be 2 rock stars on the road. It'll be a half off deal. And he comes by and he vultures this thing. She's going to turn to David. She's going to turn to her mother, and they're going to say, "You know what, sweetheart, you just wasted a week of our time. We're going to come back to negotiate again next week so that we can get you back in one piece and get your show going again." And it's going to be the same thing. It's like the same thing. Why? Because as a businesswoman, when you get a bad deal, you got to be able to walk, sweetheart. And the thing is, you and I have a good deal. You know, it's like you walk into Simon and Lucas's office and they're just looking at the time like, one of these days you're going to straighten up and fly right, you know? And the moment she starts like taking that seriously, taking the right orders into her hands, she'll realize that you don't have to stop at 2 million. You don't have to stop at 10 million. You don't have to stop at 100 million. You can be like Taylor, you know, but if you try to take the person who cares about you the most and hold him hostage when he's here to negotiate for you, you got another thing coming. Okay. Because it's like, what am I here for? I'm here for a happy life that makes sense. You know, what am I here for? A woman who's been trying to meet the right guy for a long time and has a career field, you know, what am I here for? I'm in the same career. It's like I know the same investors. So, at the end of the day, it's like you're welcome to say it's like some kind of thing that I'm looking to do, but it's like stop. Like, what are your marching orders? And if you can't follow these marching orders, like there's no way to work with you. So they'll say stop at 2 million. If you want to go to Vegas with this loser, just go do it and blow everything. It doesn't matter. But if you want to like go on stage with Eric and be a rock star with him, and you love him, and you were talking about getting engaged on this show for a week because you realized that's a really simple, straightforward proposition. Eric loves you. He met you. He didn't know your situation. He proposes to you. He just loves you, and he loves that you're also a musician like him. You get on stage together, you close an IRA. He has to go do some spy mission for the team, so what? But the fact is, the get-go is this thing called intentions. What are your intentions when you show up to the battlefield? And being able to say, well, I love my country. I'm willing to die for my country. I love this woman. I'm willing to die for this woman. I proved that, I believe in her career. I know what we need to do next. And I know what this is. It's a vulture in the hatch, So at what point does she just push it out? And also going back to her week, talking to her again and saying that didn't go as planned. It's like, well, how can it go as planned? Well, sweetheart, if you want to be like Taylor Swift, I have Rick's number in my phone book, her manager. I was at a bar mitzvah the other day and I called him and said, this kid's going to be great. If you want to be like Taylor Swift, then you could talk to David and say, what do you think about Eric? And he would say the same thing he told you last time. Talk to your mother and say the same thing. Trust your instincts. My mom loves you. My aunt and uncle love you. It's like you got to trust your gut instinct here. And when something like this happens, a bad deal, you have to be like, hey, I gotta walk from this table. I have to walk away from this meeting saying, well, I got defeated at the negotiation table again. Been trying to get her out of these shackles so that she can lead a normal life again. And you can lead a normal life and be Taylor Swift as well, But the fact is that she had a pretty good deal. She got her father's in finance, so he was able to negotiate for her all the time, And so I love you, sweetheart. I wish that if I could pull out this box and propose to you, I wish I could give you this red lingerie, and I could say, being a husband and wife is not illegal. And if you meet someone and you love them a lot and they're being held hostage, you can negotiate to get them out, but at some point they got to give you the girl. And at some point you got to get the show on the road. And at some point you have to support your fans and say, we got to actually launch a show. And when famous people show up and they think that they own the place, when there's people pulling strings, you have to be able to say, well, there's this thing called holy matrimony, and I love this girl. I do. So anyways, that's me, guys. And I'm sorry to break the news to you, but I want to be a big rock star one day too. And I know the funders who could do it too. And there's principals that I was taught for 3 years to do it too. And, if you guys want her to play the Super Bowl halftime show, then you know that she has to play ball. And if she doesn't, and you look at this picture and you say, I don't know what to make of it, then we're all on the same team. I don't know what to make of it either. But anyway, sweetheart, I wish you all the best. I look forward to talking to you sometime soon. I'm still your friend. And I'll always work to pull the strings I can to keep you safe over there. And this didn't go as planned, but a lot of things in battle are like that, I suppose. Anyways. I'll talk to you guys later. It's kind of awkward to trail off like this, but yeah, talk to your mom and trust your instincts. And if your mother's instincts are with us and she wants to see you pursue music again, then she knows that people are full of shit, and they'll bluff you. And as a businesswoman, she knows that, so what if her daughter is older than Eric? She's a little bit ahead of him. If this is the end of her career and she's going to retire, she can invest her entire life savings in a vulture, that will, maybe they'll retire, probably not, because there's people pulling strings behind this person. But who's pulling my strings is your mother. Who's pulling my strings is my rabbis. Who's pulling my strings is David. And I think when the strings come off and it's a lot simpler, and she's just engaged, and she has a great husband who's doing the lights and sound at her shows and likes playing guitar solos, that the whole thing can be better. So pray for us. And again, I wish you all the best. It's kind of awkward. I'll sign off so that, you have to, but, and again, I'm a pretty up in front business guy. I crash landed in front of the FBI's tower when I got here into Seattle, and our Secretary of our Treasury was on the phone with us when we were in finance. So it's not like I do something that's not on the up and up. But if you want to cash out in music, you have to make a sacrifice, and you have to make it count. And anyways, I love you, honey, and I'm sorry that this did not go the way we planned. I'll talk to you later. Take care.